objective of this screencast is to show you how to use Eclipse Crossword Puzzle Generator. Begin by going to the Start button on Windows, left-click Start, All Programs, and you will scroll up until you see Eclipse Crossword. You will left-click one time, and you actually get to the beginning of this application. We'll go ahead and zoom in so we can see what we're doing. As you can see, it's got a dialog box. The first thing it says, I would like to start a new crossword puzzle, or I would like to open a crossword I have previously saved. At this point, you have not actually created one, so let's just go ahead and actually go in and start a new crossword puzzle. Left click on Next, and you can see, let me create a word list from scratch. This is the easiest way to create this. So we left click on Next again. Begin by adding our word list. We're just going to put in 4 or 5 words here so you can see how this works. The first word is going to be alphabet. And I don't type so well. And the clue for this is going to be, these are the letters we spell with. When I'm ready to add this word, I simply say add to the list. As you can see, alphabet is now in the word list. Let's go ahead and add zebra, because that's a letter with a word that starts with a Z, and the clue for this is striped horse. We're going to add this to the word list. Now we're going to have something interesting. We're going to add something with a hyphen in it. So let's put Coca-Cola. And our clue for this one is going to be, it's the real thing. And if you're as old as I am, you'll remember that slogan from back in the 70s, Coca-Cola, it's the real thing. We're going to add that to the list. Now let's add something with a space in the middle of it. And so we'll put this one down as anti-meridian, or post-meridian, which is meridian. And this abbreviation is the abbreviation and there we go, post-meridian. We're going to add this to the word list. And let's go in and put mountain. Actually, let's put mountains. And what we will do is Rocky Mountains. We'll add that to the word list. And let's come in here and put disk. And we're going to do the Digital Immigrant Survival Kit acronym, which of course is DISC. We'll add that word to the list. Now we've got an A, a C, a D, an M, a P, a Z. Let's add kangaroo. And again, this will go back to when I was a kid. Captain Kangaroo. We're going to add that to the word list. So now we've got all sorts of things. Let's just do this one as well. MT Rushmore. And we'll add that to the word list, and then we'll also add DC Washington blank 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 blank, and we'll see if we can come up with this. So now we've got several words added. So once we've added our words to the list, what we're going to do is we're going to left click on Next. It's going to ask, do you want to save this word list for future use before continuing? You're going to say yes. Now there are 2 things here. You're going to have a word list and then a crossword file. So what we're going to do is we're going to do left yes, and it's going to pop up and say where do you want to put this, and EWL is an electronic word list. So we're going to call it disk demo, and we're going to save it. Now what I like to do is actually give the name, the crossword file, and the word list the same name so we know which two it is. You give this crossword puzzle a name. Demo of Eclipse crossword puzzle, and we'll put your name in here. As you'll see later, all this stuff will work out. Again, we've got our files. Now we can always go back. If we want to add another word real quick, we can do that. Or we can remove a word. To remove a word, all you've got to do is go in and left click and then do remove word, and it disappears from your list. To add a word to the list, you simply go and, well, actually we'll do this one because this is an old Johnny Cash song. And there it is. And so we'll add that one to the list. We go back. We've changed the list. Do we want to save it before continuing? Yes. Always save it. And this is going to be disk demo EWL. And I want to replace it. Name of the puzzle again is disk demo and my name. We left click next to continue on. Now here's where we start really getting into the crossword. We want to define the size of the crossword puzzle. As you can see, it must be 13 letters minimum. So let's go with 20 by 20. That should give us plenty of room to get everything in there. Next, we actually see what this is going to look like. And as you can see, Coca-Cola has a hyphen here. And then you've got right here the space in post-meridian. Now this is one puzzle. We use 9 words, but you know, I might not like that puzzle, so I'm going to click right here where it says make another puzzle like this one. So I left click on it, you can see it changes the layout. Now I know what you're thinking, hey, I can use this in my class, because then I can make sure that every student gets the same words, but it's a different layout, so they don't necessarily want to cheat off of each other. You're correct. You simply left click and keep left clicking until you find the pattern that you want. Now you can come back and do this later, but this is how you get your first layout. So now we'll go ahead and left click on next, and we start getting to the part where we're going to save and print and output this stuff. So the first thing I want to do is I want to save the crossword puzzle, because this is different from the word list. We're going to save the crossword puzzle. You see it's an ECW, and again I'm going to give it the same name as the word list, so that I can actually I know which ones go with each other. Now we want to come to the Print Crossword tab. Here we've got several different ways we can do it. We can list the clues with the answers, we can give a word bank, and we can give clues. Now what you're going to do here is you're going to print everything that's checked above, and as you can see it's going to come out to my Uncle Jesse laser printer. What you can also do is you can set your default printer as your PDF document, your PDF printer, and print this as a PDF. Once you've got everything selected, it's going to print out all the different files as Uncle Jesse, or to Uncle Jesse, which happens to be my laser printer. If I want to save this as a web page, I simply come over here and I can choose how I want to do it. I want to do a JavaScript, and it will give me a web page to link it out to. If I want to make these printable web pages where somebody can go from home and download them, I can do empty grid with clues, and I can also do an empty key grid. If I want to publish the crossword puzzle, I can do it in rich text format, or a Windows meta file, or an EPS. So I've got a variety of ways to do that. Once I've printed it out, and let's just go ahead and save this as a web page so you can see what it is, I'm going to do it with JavaScript. And I'm going to call this again disk demo, which is the same as I've been doing everything else. And I'm going to save it. And once I do save it, it's actually going to bring up a screen with the crossword puzzle. And as you can see, this is your output. So the first thing I'm going to do right here is click, and it's going to give me a clue. This is a striped horse. And I'm going to put mule and hit OK, and when I do, it's going to say you didn't type enough letters. It has to have 5 letters. So you go back in and say, okay, let's go with mules plural, and it's going to say OK. And now if we want to check our puzzle, we can click on it, and it will say 1 error and 8 incomplete words found. So I can go back up here to mules, and now I can go in and change it to zebra and check it again, and it says it's right. Again, I can check anywhere that I am and put something in. Digital Immigrants Survival Kit acronym, DISK, D-I-S-K, and I can hit OK. Here's one I don't know the answer to. PM is the abbreviation for, and I can left click solve, and it will put it in for me, but it will put it in blue, so I know I've incorrectly answered that one. Now that's one way you can output it. Another way you can output it is as an empty grid and clues. And again, I will do the same and give it a different name, Disk Demo Static. And what it will do is it now gives me a page that I can print out. So we've got our title, we've got who the copyright belongs to, and things like that. We can also go in and do an answer key. And again, it's going to be on an HTML format, so when it gets done, there are the answers. So you can do anything you want with it. Again, if you want to come back in at any point in time and change the words or the layout, you simply left click on the back button. You can make another puzzle like this one. As you can see, the format changes. You can also, when you left click next, it will ask you to save it again, and you can save it as a second crossword puzzle. You may save this crossword puzzle as Disk Demo ECW 2, which is your second crossword puzzle. At which point then you could save this one as a page and come back with your answer grid. And when you do, you see the different layout. So that's how you use Eclipse Crossword Puzzle Generator. You can use it to help kids with their studying of terminology and things like that. You can also have the kids create their own word lists and crossword puzzles that they can share with other students and let them use their knowledge to actually prove that they know what they're doing. I hope this screencast has been helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments about it, please feel free to contact me at any time.